Welcome back to the Talos of Tech podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It is series 6?
5.5. Part 2.
5.2. So we gave this a tremendous amount of thought, ladies and gentlemen, because the Talos of Tech podcast has always resembled the Apple Watch series naming scheme. What did Apple do with the Apple Watch Series 6?
Literally nothing.
Oh no,
wait,
they added a blood oxygen sensor.
They have red.
So that's what we're going to do on this show.
So Drew and I went red. Nick has a red hat.
There's a red option.
To the Talos of Tech podcast, a blood oxygen option. So congratulations.
We now will tell you your blood oxygen level. Something over 95%.
Between 95% and 100%, unless you're in the hospital, in which case look at the thing on your finger.
But guys, you have the same intro as last year. You're right. So,
No.
counteract that.
Stop spreading fake news, Randy. It's a completely different intro. I ask all of those pixel peepers to count every pixel on that intro and tell me exactly what changed.
And if you...
And also, Apple reused the design of the Series 5 for the Series 6.
Yep. So,
However, we are fair.
That's where we are.
And if you, a viewer, a listener of our show, would like to do your own animation for us, we will take entries. We'll pick our favorite one, and we will pay you $1,000. However...
Whoa, what? Hell no. I did not agree to this.
Oh, no? We're not doing this? Oh, that's right. I was probably going to ghost you guys anyway, so...
We'll be efficient with our designs like Apple, but update the CPU.
Yes.
As they did with the Series 6.
We are so much faster, stronger, leaner, smarter. I mean...
By making a more efficient CPU, we have now rebranded the podcast YouTube channel, as this is now the sole home place for only the Talos of Tech podcast and Talos of Tech content. So there might be other videos here and there that are not the podcast, but this is now singular brand. You're not going to be getting any more EV movie review crap, all that garbage.
EV videos. Get them out of here.
All of that's gone. That's on a separate channel that you don't have to subscribe to.
They're gone now. Just dusted.
Make sure you don't subscribe to that channel because you're a loyalist and you are a Talos of Tech fan. So that's why you're now on the Talos of Tech YouTube channel.
But if you did want to subscribe, there's a link somewhere.
There will be a link down in the description. Right below that like button.
Who cares? What does it matter? There's a bunch of crap over there. Who knows what's going on?
Just changing the world. Who cares about that?
Crap.
If it doesn't talk about the new non-notch, I don't care.
This is true.
That's the priority. I think this is the longest break we've ever taken, guys. Can you think of a longer break?
It is a long break. I didn't actually count the episodes that we missed, but I remember.
I want to say like
summer of
6 weeks.
2018.
I think we were 1 week away from being a full 2 months since our last recording.
Wow, one more week, it would have been a record.
Yeah.
We should.
Well, I think it is still a record.
We can always just end this show, and then
we all do have. We'll just cut it here and come back. But Drew was on vacation. I was on vacation. Nick is literally documenting the changing of the world. So stuff is going on.
We all had crappy stuff distracting us.
Should also mention
from time.
Everyone wondering what happened to the Nick and Sweeney shirt. It was a very unfortunate accident. I put it in the dryer.
What happened? To what?
And now it's the size of the postage stamp. So.
Oh, the green.
His green. Oh, yeah.
The button up?
My
okay.
green shirt is
See,
dead.
we have different color options, just like the Series 6 did. So this is actually more on brand. Series 7 is going to be a
the
trick.
First one with red, huh?
Series 7 is going to be fun.
The Series 6 was the first one with red, so I got to wear this every episode.
Actually, this is my first red shirt and my only red shirt. It's a bit darker, but...
So is your personality, so that works.
It's appropriate, yeah. Well, what I need, now that we're finally back, there's actually been a ton of stuff I've wanted to ask about. Because it's been so long, I need tech product ecosystem updates. How has your iPhone been working? How has your watch been doing? How's your MacBooks? Have there been issues? Have there been slowdowns? Has there been degradation? What's the current status of everyone's ecosystem?
I'll take this first because I know Randy has lots of updates on this.
No, Nick has amazing updates.
Oh, good.
It's just like the Apple event. We'll kick it off with an exciting update to Apple TV Plus, and then we'll just talk about nothing for 20 minutes. Basically, nothing's
good.
changed that I can recall. I still have an iPhone 13 Pro Max that is doing great and beautiful. Its battery life is definitely starting to show some signs of age. I know we talked about this.
What's your battery health?
I haven't checked, but I've noticed that I need to charge in the evening now. It's gotten to the
Wow.
point where
You're the only person I know with that phone that needs to charge before the end of the day.
It's thinking. It still says 100%. I don't know. I don't believe that.
So does mine.
And it still says 100%, but like the battery graph, it definitely
100.
gets low by the end of the day. So
I'm at 100 as well. So
I am at 100.
we're all still good.
maybe
Okay.
Apple just is leaving the number at 100%.
We are coming into the 6 month. Next month will be 6 months of this phone being released.
Yep.
And
Really?
Yep.
Oh my God!
Which means
It
new
feels
iPhone
still
season is coming up. Whoa.
it still feels brand new to me. I feel like this is a new phone every time I use it.
Just because that 120 hurtings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And no, that's it. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. I will have this for 4 years, and I'll be like, it still feels brand new.
My
it
MacBook
so
has
smooth?
not changed. I did not get the
Good.
ugly MacBook Pro, which I'm still vehemently against. The M1 chip has been rocking great for me.
I'm happy to hear that.
I'm throwing new camera footage that has new levels of bit depth and dynamic range and resolution and whole new
Wow.
formats, and it's been handling it like a champ. I do now have to say though, having more than 2 USB-C ports might be handy. I would definitely take 4, but not any non-USB-C ports. So we're standing by that.
Got it.
I would have.
You're staying consistent.
However,
Consistently wrong.
exactly. I'm consistently
Okay,
wrong,
folks,
but I'm making the
believe
2
me.
ports work just
I've
fine.
said a lot
It's
of
just
wrong things
less
in this
convenient.
past year, okay, folks? But Nicholas, will you look
Well,
at
I
this?
hope
Yeah.
It's better than
He's
owning
right.
that
Bingo.
ugly thing, though. My iPad Pro is somewhere around here collecting dust, I think.
Holding the door open.
Yeah, just the doorstop.
It's a door
It's
stop.
like the smart keyboard case open, and it's just like stopping the door. Yeah, no, Apple Watch Series 4 still doing fine.
Still rocking it?
Yep.
Good, good. Do you wear it every day, or do you sometimes go
I
days
noticed
without
it'll last all day long, no problems, unless I
it?
actually
Wow,
use
that's
it.
bizarre.
Unless I actually use it. If I
Oh, don't do that.
One day I
You
took a
shouldn't
phone
do
call
that.
on my watch. It was just like a 10-minute phone call. My phone was just across the way, and I just
Mm-hmm.
it was quicker just to grab it on my watch. It's a 10-minute phone call. The Apple Watch died like at 5 in the afternoon. So I'm like, oh gosh.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it died instantly after the phone.
Yeah,
call.
no.
Just
It died
dead
much earlier than it should
right
have.
away. Okay, so Randy kept saying he knew Nick had a bunch of updates. What are you talking about, Randy?
Oh, that he's still boring with his tech.
That's the update, ladies and gentlemen. It's still boring.
Oh,
If you'd
I
like
see.
to talk
It was
about
sarcasm.
cameras, we can talk about all the fun new cameras I have.
You got new cameras?
Yeah.
In the past month?
Hey Nick, wait. Do me a favor. Lean down for a second. For our people watching the YouTube, that photo right there behind him, the colorful one, that is a Nick and Sweeney photo if I've ever seen one, and that is
My
what.
God.
That's his tech now, capturing photos.
I
like
must say,
that.
Nick has preserved some photons insanely well. May I just add the photos you've taken, especially the one you posted 3 hours ago, is just
Thank you.
absolutely gorgeous.
I don't know why that one did so well and why everyone loves that one that I posted 3 hours ago, which was.
Have
It's
you
just
seen
good
it?
lighting.
Is this
good
on
lighting,
Twitter or
but, like,
Instagram?
I've taken,
Did you
I've
did you
taken
say
better
have you
pictures.
seen it?
Like as if
Did you say-
I've taken better pictures.
I don't know, Nick.
before.
I don't know.
Let me go
I've
find
seen
this.
your pictures. That's going to be up there in my
Ouch.
top 5.
Okay. Ouch.
That's the most backhanded criticism I've ever given.
Are we
to
talking about with
photography.
the
Taking
brown
pictures.
and the blue sky?
That's got to be up there for me.
Yep. So anyway, I'd say no new tech updates for me. I'm still waiting around for the dual.
Well, I'm going to
dual
hear about
die.
the cameras.
Oh, you do?
but-
I don't think anyone
Wait,
else
the
does.
dual die Series 8? Is that what you mean?
No, the dual die M1
Oh, the
Pro.
iMac.
M1
Oh,
Pro.
right. Sorry, I forgot.
I'm sorry.
Series 8.
I laughed because I imagined a dual die M1 Max or Pro Max chip on the Series 8, and I was just like, I chuckled.
Oh, that'll happen.
I'm
That'll-
sorry.
that's
There
for
is
sure.
so much depth in this photo, Nick. I had to
Randy's Internet Explorer over here.
You know why that photo is good? Because it is basically it is appearing as if it were a tilt shift lens, and so
Yes.
any photographers out there know what a tilt shift is. It's basically a setup where you kind of move the lens off axis a little bit, and so it makes everything look like a miniature. It looks like everything is a miniature. That's not a tilt shift lens. It's actually a smaller crop factor lens that has some extreme distortions around the edges, but it looks like a tilt shift lens.
And the idea that it was shot on iPhone is just
amazing.
so impressive.
Not even true at all. Not even a little bit.
Anyway, Randy,
Hi,
tell
buddy.
us about
What's up?
Let's move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah, that was
How's
definitely
your
shot on
ugly
iPhone.
My new ugly computer is the greatest thing that God has ever blessed my hands with.
Wow.
Let me tell you something.
Fantastic.
I'm telling your wife.
Fan-freaking-tastic. What about my wife? No, forget that. No, this is the update I've been waiting for. Wife Schmeif. There's a 7 billion other people in the world, but there's only one of my laptop. Okay, so Apple Watch, love it, as I'm not wearing it, honestly, because I was in a hurry today to, I forgot the process of setting everything up and getting my lights and everything, like, everything is, I was in a hurry, and I was like, I'm forgetting something.
Back to the basics,
and I was like, we're doing it live, so I forgot to put my watch on, but I actually do wear it daily. I love...
Never leave the cave without it.
I never leave the cave without it. Oh, all right. Put in the comments if you know what we're talking about. Thank you,
Randy, for getting that joke.
If anybody else gets it, I never leave the cave without it. Oh, please. I'll give you a hint. Nipples. So,
Wow.
All right. Moving on.
Wow.
So, the watch, I do so much texting on it with the swipe feature.
You do? Have you actually adopted my tactic?
I mean, after you beat it in my brain, I was like, all right, let's see what this is about. Oh yeah, this is quite convenient. Now, you guys know, actually, I think a lot of people know, I talk a lot.
Oh,
Little bit.
really? No way.
And
No idea.
Just a little.
it reflects in my texts. I text a lot, like paragraph texts. And
Yes, you do.
the watch helps me.
Not do that?
The watch helps me be more concise.
Oh, okay.
So
Gotcha.
I like being like, okay, okay. I just swipe. I go, okay, send. Like, done.
I would just have that on the like preloaded messages thing if I was being.
Oh my God, you're right. I'm so broken.
I'm like a pro watch user. I have all this stuff down.
I want to tell you guys a quick little story. The guy who talks a lot.
Okay.
I went on vacation.
You did?
Finn.
Really?
Did Nick know we met up, or was that kept off the record?
He FaceTimed me last night just because he was like, hey,
okay.
It's been a minute. And that was the first time he knew that we met up. In fact, a lot of people, the only people who know is probably just you and Mike, because Mike was the other
We didn't
person
take a picture.
I know.
We should have taken a photo.
I'm upset that we didn't capture. I realized on the road, I was like, I forgot to get my photo. But
We said that as we were driving out of the parking lot. We were like, we should have taken a picture.
I wanted to get a photo. And I even was like, I got my camera. Don't forget. And then my wife is like, we got to go. I'm like, okay, bye, guys. And then I completely forgot.
It was very quick.
It was
quick.
quick.
About 30 minutes, 40 minutes.
We went a little over an hour because
an hour. It felt like 15 minutes.
It does. It's different. The energy is always different in person. But so I met up with Drew and we hung out and just kind of like this, we just hang out. And but I was on vacation, and Drew had just got. I started my vacation as Drew was getting back from his, and so I caught most of your experience of what you were doing on vacation in regards to tech, and so that kind of helped me even prep my own travels for a long-term vacation of my own. And I took everything: iPad, MacBook Pro, and I took my phone, obviously, and we're gonna see how it's gonna operate. I overpacked is my realization.
Not
Yeah.
a minimalist.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Now, I can say that having the MacBook Pro now in my life as a daily user. I struggle to find a use case with the iPad, but there is two very important use cases that I use now borderline daily. One, it is my primary media consumption when it comes to YouTube, Disney Plus, anything that I'm not on the TV.
That's all it's good for.
That's all it's good for. Second, especially if I can download, and if I'm able to download offline and perfect, great screen real estate
on flights,
dude.
iPad is so much better than the MacBook because it takes up, well, at least for me, I know you still have the keyboard case, but with the Smart Folio, it takes up so little space on the tray, and it's still a huge screen, and the Bluetooth audio sharing thing works perfectly on the iPad. It doesn't work very well on the Mac for some reason.
And for those reasons, I'm out. No, I'm just kidding. So
it's like you have to say I'm out.
I have to say it. I appreciate the iPad for what it is, and the other one is 100% of my thumbnails are done on, or photo editing specifically, but 90% of the photo is thumbnails. So all photo editing is done on the iPad because the stylus is it's a lifeline. I can't not use it. So with that type of screen real estate and being able to do some visual art to it, it works great. Outside of that, put it to the side. I don't need it. And I learned that on vacation because I was using my MacBook Pro as a consumer, not a prosumer, consumer, and I ended I never once plugged the Mac in.
Wow.
I ended my trip.
The whole trip.
Ended
That's impressive.
with a battery percentage of 41%.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay, Apple needs to put this on their website. Randy, battery life, one long Randy vacation.
Put our album art in the commercials for the iPhone SE 3 or whatever. Do it again. Do it. Come on, Tim.
You know you want to.
Do it.
You know you want to.
I left at 100% the night before, and I turned it off, or as off as you can for an M1 chip, and which is really just standby all the same. There is no off.
Yeah. As off as you can.
As off as you can get it. iPad and phone will turn off. The Mac, it doesn't turn off, but it goes into that deep hibernation mode. I did not use it daily, but I did use it often when I was using it. So if I was to average all of it, I would say I was on the MacBook for 2 weeks. I would say if we were to break it down into 14 days, I was doing at least an hour to 2 hours a day. And checking my emails, flight itineraries. I was web browsing, something that, I want to show you a photo, things like that. I had the Mac right there. And I told somebody on Twitter, I was like, I didn't use any pro applications, but that's not true. I opened up Logic to show somebody something I was working on. And
you liar.
Well, the thing is, it was just I hit the space bar to play something, so it doesn't really count. I could have exported it, but all the same, I was just
excuses.
I was showing things, and the battery for the M1 Pro chip, in conjunction with, so the efficiency of it was preserving the battery, but in conjunction with just the fact that I'm not pushing it with, if I opened up OBS just to see if it would still work, that right there would have depleted the battery, I'm sure. So,
OBS just chews through everything.
Oh my god. Yeah. I've learned now I only need the Mac wherever I go. Mac and phone. Done.
That's it.
That's it.
Wow.
Because I don't want to work while I'm on vacation. I almost started working, and I was forcing myself to put everything down and don't do it. Just live in the moment. And I didn't need, because I brought my mic, I brought the iPad, I brought my my preamp here that plugs in my audio, and I brought everything. Just in case, what if I need it? I brought my tripod. I brought everything, and didn't need it. I was over preparing for something that my tech habits have taught me to just kind of more or less live in the. Drew, I know. Actually, Nick, I think you too for sure. But as new tech owners of new products, you and I have a good habit of turning off our notifications so we don't get stuck. And I encourage anybody to do that. But in the offset that you don't, I'm good at not being on my devices like that anymore. So the MacBook Pro is still to this day the best product. Like it did all that, and I was just blown away. Like, wow, my battery is God mode. So
Wow.
yeah.
So, I guess I have a question. Remember way back in 2010 when they introduced the iPad, everyone was saying the iPad has no point. It's useless. It's just a big iPhone. It doesn't actually do anything. Blah blah blah. I think over the years, Apple made their best case as to why the iPad deserves to exist in its own category and what it can do uniquely. And yes, before y'all get angry at me in the comments, there are things that the iPad can do that the iPhone can't. However, do you think that concern was warranted back in 2010, given now where we are in 2022, Apple hasn't touched the iPadOS software in any meaningful way in 2 years, and we're all sitting here wanting it to do more. But it has an M1 chip, so, you know.
Yeah. I thought you were going to take that in a sarcastic route. And I was like, an Apple, after all these years, has tried really hard to prove them right by making the iPad
basically
so useless.
I mean, so there's like this bell curve, right? Like it used to be kind of useless, and then like you got some apps and some good software, and people figured out how to use it, and it was really great. And then like it kind of peaked, I think in like 2017 with the first high refresh rate iPad Pro. I think that's when iPad peaked, because we were all expecting 2018 maybe, yeah. But yeah, actually I'll take that back. 2018 is when iPad peaked, and we were all expecting the software to catch up finally and allow iPad to do the hardware finally hit its potential. Heck, it's still an amazing hardware, but we were all like, the software, it's just the software now. Within the next year, we'll have new software that will fix all of our issues. Windows Vista won't have any of the problems that Windows XP had.
This is what I mean. Nick's brain works in Mac versus PC ads. Like
it literally does.
If we zoomed, if Neuralink had to display an image of Nick's brain, it would just be those two guys in the white.
You're the real life Patrick Star.
I mean, I'm starting. What did you say, Randy?
You're the real life Patrick Star. The bubble comes up. The milk.
No. Instead of milk, it's the Mac versus PC guy. It's perfect, but no, I don't think the iPad is pointless. I don't think it's just like a bigger version of the iPhone. I just think iPads that cost more than, if you're gonna make iPads that cost more than like $600, $700, but not improve the software to do anything that a Mac is capable of doing within that same price bracket, I would say like the iPad Pros are pretty pointless at this point. Like the new ones, the 2021 versions were even rumored to get more this year because they got to keep going, right? They can't do anything with the software, which means we can only come up with crazier and crazier hardware for the iPad Pro.
M1 Max chip.
As ridiculous as it sounds, that's kind of like, I almost consider it likely at this point, because I'm like, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to incentivize people to upgrade with? Now all we're hearing about is like wireless charging iPads, and I'm like struggling to find any useful way to do that. It's not. It'd be so pointless, and it would probably complicate. It would make all of our keyboard cases probably outdated and worthless. And hey, that's good for Apple, right? We all got to buy our $400 keyboards again. But I think that as media consumption devices, that we want to do something that's a touch interface that's larger than our phone. There's still a market for that. I still see purpose for $500, $600 less. Like the iPad Mini, I think is fantastic. Model Y Mike got one, and I was playing around with it again last time I visited him, and he actually had the folio cover and everything with it. I didn't have the folio with the Mini because it was all back ordered, but I got to hold it and play with it, and I was just like, this is so cool. Like, this is such a great form factor. If it had 120 hertz, I probably would have kept it. And I just loved that there's a device out there that is so much more compact than a laptop, and yet still so light, with a big display that you can prop up, and it's perfect for the kitchen. It's perfect for the FaceTiming. That's why Center Stage is so cool. But just charging Mac money for it is what I can't get behind until the software catches up. Like there being $1,000 or $2,000 iPads in existence is like, what are we doing here? We don't need a terabyte or 2 terabytes when the file management system can't handle file transfers after a certain point. It's like, what? You're trying to put stuff on here? No, you can't do that. It's too complicated. So I've actually felt like my iPad is kind of brand new again, even though it's from 2018, just because they rolled out universal control, and I've been using it a lot. And
what are your thoughts
now
there?
I can... It's a little buggy, but it works really, really well. So that's contradictory. That doesn't make sense. Come on, Drew. When it works...
It's okay, folks. It's our first day back, great. So we're getting back into the
we're
motion.
rusty. Yeah, we got some quality control to sort out. Series 5.2. Let me switch to back up here. When it works really well. Like, I am amazed by how low the latency is on universal control. Yeah. Like, I do not notice any latency whatsoever, and it's brought back all of the cursor, like, adapting to different buttons thing, just like the Magic keyboard case has, except now I'm just using my keyboard and mouse with my iMac, and it feels so natural now. It's, like, just built into my brain that I'm like, oh, let me grab this from the iPad, and I just move the mouse down. I don't even think about it, which is why I think it's a great feature, because I'm not constantly aware that I'm using it, to the point now, whenever I'm doing something, I'll just... Basically, the iMac Pro has become my TV. It's just playing videos and stuff. And I'm watching stuff on it, but I have, like, Discord or Twitter on my iPad, so I swipe down and change something, and then I'm ready to upload or edit something on my MacBook, and I just move the mouse to go over to the MacBook Pro, and it stops because it's not on the beta. And I'm like, oh, right, I can't do that yet. I've got to wait for universal control to be on a public build. But my brain is already filling in that use case of, like, well, if I can move the mouse here to here, why can't it go here, you know? So I'm so ready for that day where it all starts working togetgether. But yeah, from here to here, I'm gonna be.
I do like, just think in Apple ads at this point. I think, my goodness.
From here,
you do.
The thumb.
That's just Nick's brain.
Yeah.
And all like the old ones, all the new ones are kind of boring. Oh yeah. It's like, ooh, this guy can dance.
100%.
What's a PC? Your PC.
No, I like. What's a computer was iconic. Whether or not you liked it, it was very quotable.
Good, but it was iconic.
It wasn't. It was kind of like the prequels, you know.
Exactly.
Like, you quote it a lot. It doesn't make it great, but it was.
And future ads
as time has gone on,
I've irritating and they're everywhere.
Stop it, Nick. No sand references.
I missed what he said.
He said,
oh, okay.
Because it's annoying and it's everywhere, like sand.
See, when
it was funny,
people hated it when it came out and it got better. Yeah, but it's like the new commercials are usually just like, this person likes to dance and they wear AirPods. Buy AirPods now. It's like, okay.
There's no wit in it. Like, that's what I appreciated about the old Apple ads. There's always some wit involved. And there's always, someone who's thinking made this ad. Now it's just like
colors, Mint Mobile.
Good.
Mint Mobile.
Ooh. I just saw an ad because I love Ryan Reynolds. I just saw another Mint Mobile ad, which is silly because I already use it. But I saw the ad and I was like, okay, Ryan's in it. Even though it was promoted on Twitter, I'm like, this is probably going to be good because Ryan's in it. So I started watching it and he was like, we're looking for innovative ways to save money. So we didn't hire a cameraman, and the camera's like panning away. And he's like, honey, this way. No, that's too high. And I was like, see, there's some wit.
Yep.
There's some decent wit in the advertising. I mean, it wasn't like bellowing, laugh out loud, but I was like, brain, dopamine, nose exhale. You know,
responds with lol.
Yeah. Types LOL with the straightest face possible.
Yeah. Lol. I literally can't breathe right now.
I have sleep apnea. I'm rolling on the floor laughing. But to answer your question, Nick, I do think the iPad has purpose, even in its current form, just not over a certain price point.
It does have some purpose, but do you think those people were... The question was, do you think those critics were closer than we want to admit?
Nick,
yes. You are
Nay.
correct.
I say nay.
Oh,
Ooh,
Because
Randy.
I say yay.
I say nay because the
I say
software
nay
wasn't
is
there
for
yet
horses.
10 years ago. The software in applications were all just kind of blown up from iPhone stuff. People have made
Yeah.
custom iPad applications now. Like I use Procreate, and the iPhone version is like Create or Pocket or something like that. There
Yeah.
are proper LumaFusion. I can't stand it on the iPhone. Love it on the iPad. Over or GoDaddy or Canvas or any of those other ones that do that stuff like that are all built with iPad in mind. So the software.
Rest in peace. Over.
I know.
I still have it. I have good news. It's still on my
Oh, it's still over?
Oh wow.
unupdated. Every time I go to the App Store, it's right there. It's like update over, and I'm like no, and I update everything else, and I make sure I don't tap it. So this is just my over machine.
One day you're gonna accidentally
yes.
update it. Yeah. So the application.
There's lots of optimized iPad apps like Instagram and WhatsApp and.
Wait a minute.
No,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
No.
Yeah.
still missing.
Still missing.
It's only been like
Vine,
12
wait.
years.
TikTok.
Don't-
No.
Wait, is there not a TikTok app? I don't actually know.
I don't think so. I have no idea, but I would
That-
assume not. Anything that has a vertical purpose,
You're
kind
right.
of like Apple's.
Who would have thought that Tesla got the TikTok app before the iPad did?
iPad app?
Wait a minute. So
The TikTok
the,
app, sorry.
the
I don't know what
software,
the iPad is.
the software and the application.
No, they have an
side.
iPad app.
Do they? Oh, probably not as
Well,
good.
it looks
Well,
like
don't
they
use
do.
that app
Yeah,
either, kids.
you're right. It sucks. Don't use it.
Don't use it.
Doesn't matter if it's on iPad, iPhone, or Apple
Don't
Watch.
use
Don't
it.
use it.
You don't need it. Yeah.
Say
This
no
is
to
when
drugs,
this is
kids.
when we get
Say no.
50. I like how we treat TikTok like it's drug use, despite like it being the most popular video site in the world now. This is when we get 15 comments that go, "I actually people think it's cringy, but there's some really good stuff on TikTok." You're called liars.
Yeah.
It's all cringe. Everything in vertical is cringe by
Everything
default
that
to
I
me.
have on TikTok, on my own account, exists somewhere else. And fun fact, gets bigger numbers like on Instagram. Surprisingly, I did a Tesla doing the
light
Christmas
show?
music and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I got at the time when I looked, it might be more now. I got like 5,000 plays within like the first week, and got like
Well done.
maybe 1,500 or 1,200 on TikTok. I was like, okay, so Instagram is where I'm gonna upload, and which is fine. I'm just showing. I'm just, hey, this is cool. But anyway, we really went. Nick, 10 years ago,
iPad.
10 years ago, the software in the application department wasn't there. It is there now, and I think in any case matter for iPadOS, it does serve to support note taking and all the stuff that like we would use it for. But I
Calculator.
Oh, wait a minute.
The weather. The
Oh, Instagram. Wait,
There's just a growing list.
man, I sometimes want to rag on it for even just doing FaceTime. It's so. I'm just gonna let it go. I'm gonna let it go.
Let it go.
I would not pay
Let it
more
go.
than $500 for it now. We all got the 2018 version because it was a Pro with a brand new design that has since then rolled over to iPad Air and iPad Mini, and those have better use case applications. Because if you look at the price difference, you get effectively all the same things minus maybe ProMotion and the keyboard.
Deal breaker. Yeah.
Everything else on the software side, identical. Stylus with the Apple Pencil, identical. So, no, I don't recommend an iPad Pro to really anybody. But at the same time, I know that we are not maybe the demographic that they're surveying about this stuff, because we're going to say you put an M1 chip in this thing with mini LED, everything that the MacBook now has, and the software is this? for
Yeah, you do nothing?
Yeah.
What have they done since in making, to the first point, like Mac hardware in an iPad, and they changed the software like Nothing changed. Like
We
they
got
kept it
last
exactly the way
year's
it was.
iOS updated this year. That's what we got.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just like, put the widgets here now. Bye-bye, Today View. It's gone now.
And I loved
Okay.
the Today View. So
Me too. I know. I still miss it.
I do too.
I still wish it was on the old version, but yeah, I don't even know what to say. Universal control, is that even an iPad feature or is that a Mac feature? I think it's a Mac feature.
It's Mac.
Because you can't do it between two iPads.
Oh, you can't.
Because I found that out during the live stream. Someone kept asking it, and someone else tried it, and they said, no, you can only do it with one iPad at a time. So I was like, once again, iPadOS coming up in the short in the short leagues of like, oh no, it's an iPad, it can't do that. Okay, that's how it works.
So I found it really entertaining. Whatever day they announced the Universal Control beta, I was like, yeah. My name's Nic and Randy, and I've been using this beta for about 6 months now. I have some thoughts.
My name. 6 months.
Literally 6 months. So I think it was, I don't know, about 2 or 3 builds into the original macOS, what are we on, Monterey?
Yeah.
Monticello, something or other.
Monotheism.
Monotheism, yeah.
Onomatopoeia.
Onomatopoeia, macOS onomatopoeia.
macOS onomatopoeia.
But anyway, there's this one build that had it working, and I installed it on my Cube and my MacBook Pro. And the next build, it disappeared, and everyone was like, where'd it go? And I'm like, phew, good thing I didn't update. And so basically every single day I open up both of my computers, and both of them are like, your beta seed is out of date, you must update, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, cancel, every single day. And I use Universal Control to cancel the update because I have not had a keyboard or mouse in front of my main desk in a while because I just use my MacBook Pro to control the Cube. It is
So you're going to update now that it's out?
I'm not on, I mean, I guess I would be on the dev builds, huh? I haven't looked at it, honestly. I'm waiting for it to come out in full public stuff before I update because it still works perfectly
It is
fine.
on the public beta.
And I say perfectly fine as in like 92% of the time. Like it's not 100% of the time. Sometimes it'll get caught and my mouse will get stuck on the wrong computer and I can't bring it back down to the laptop. But it's nothing that just futzing around with it for a second doesn't fix. So, dude, I don't know.
Mine took like 15 minutes to get going.
Really?
It didn't start right away. Yeah, I kept trying it and I saw the cursor appear on the iPad for a second and then it would go away and I looked like a madman. I was using my mouse, hitting it against the side of the iMac like, come on, it's time. And I was doing the live stream and everyone's like, restart. So I restarted everything and then it started working. But yeah, it's most of the time. Yeah, I think 92%. That's a good number for me too. Yeah. I would say.
But it's just 92% weird to me that they got rid of it for like 6 months and it was working the whole time. Like, I don't know what's different. Obviously, there's something significant different between what I'm using and whatever's been used.
Do you do the file sharing thing?
I don't think so. I don't think it supports that. It's just the mouse. But
it does
I already have them networked
now.
together, so I don't file share that way either. But
mine only works one way. I can drag files and videos off of the iPad directly onto the Mac, and it works pretty well. So when I get the public build on my MacBook Pro, I'm probably going to do that with thumbnails because I can just take a video and I just drag it in, and then it does kind of like the AirDrop animation where it's just like, and it wirelessly, now the MacBook can store that file locally. Right. But if I try to drag a picture or a video from the Mac to the iPad, it just goes away. It doesn't work. But that's worked for other people. People with Apple Silicon Macs say that works. I'm using an iMac Pro from 2017. So that might be a bug with my build, or it might just be a permanent, like we couldn't find a way to make that work with Intel, which I'm fine with because who cares? It's Intel. But yeah, it was just a little buggy. But honestly, there's not a lot of times I'm making files on the Mac that need to go on the iPad. Usually it's the other way. Normally it's like, okay, made this picture, took this video, let's move it to the Mac because that's where the real work happens. So it's fine. That works the way it needs to, I guess, in the meantime. But I wish it would have been ready sooner.
My pretend universal control is like, say I'm making a thumbnail or an edit to a photo. I just wait for it to update in Photos, and then I can just drag it in Mac.
Ah.
Just drop
See,
a
where
dollar.
I'm out of iCloud storage and trying to downgrade more, so it's I'm not using iCloud at all anymore.
I delete
Really? How much
every
iCloud
video
storage
I
are you
take.
using?
Huh?
Both of you, how much iCloud storage are you using?
200 gigs.
Yeah, 200 gig. Or are you asking what my current? I have the 200 gig subscription, but
Yeah, how many
I'm at 200. I'm at full. It tells me every day. It's like, you are full. You need to get the 2 terabyte plan.
okay.
And I'm like,
I haven't
no.
offloaded my California trip videos and photos, so we'll bear that in mind. I am using 148 gigs.
Okay, because Nick asked, now we have to ask Nick. What are you at? Are you still on Apple
7
One?
terabytes.
I would honestly be on 7 terabytes if I could. Y'all know that.
Yep.
I
do.
have the 2 terabyte Apple iCloud storage plan. And then, unfortunately, I made the mistake of subscribing to Apple One a while ago. And I still have it because it's really hard to go back.
Is it Premier?
Yes, the high.
Is it the
whatever.
Premier?
I have 4
The highest
terabytes
tier?
now. Yeah. And so
Oh my God.
I'm using 2.56 terabytes.
Ooh.
Yeah, 1.4 terabytes remaining.
Nick.
Most of it's pictures.
So unless you do some purging, you
I
have
really-
to have
I really
Apple
can't,
Fitness
though.
Plus.
That's the hurt. Like that it hurts.
Because of how many pictures you take, you have to pay for News
Exactly.
Plus
I
and Fitness
have to.
Plus.
And Arcade Plus.
Yeah.
And it sucks. Like if I could just pay for more storage, I totally would.
I still find that stupid. I don't know why they thought that was the best way of going about it, but yeah, it's like someone needs more storage.
Nick
Oh,
is
you need a
definitely
fitness
the
subscription.
exception.
I think Nick is the one in the best shape on this podcast.
Is it just me?
It's silence.
Oh, okay.
Hang on.
It's not Starlink. I know that.
Insightful comment, Drew. My goodness.
Welcome back to Series 5 Part 2, where we still Starlink sometimes, from time to time.
There's not even Starlink being used. I don't know who to blame anymore.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh my God.
That's right. He's not even using Starlink.
Literally
He's
LTE.
right.
He's LTE.
Yeah.
It's
He's
blame
LTE.
5G. I blame T-Mobile.
The
It's
5G.
5G.
It's the 5G, folks.
I
Dumb
blame
5G.
Mint. What are you doing, Ryan Reynolds?
5G.
Basically-
5G.
Hang on.
5G.
My
My goodness.
Okay.
He must have just
Yeah,
run out
okay.
of his
No, he's back.
data.
What's weird is Randy turns into an exclamation mark, but Nick doesn't. Nick looks fine the whole time.
Oh, sorry, Drew. You're gonna just have to sit quiet for a few minutes, and Randy and I'll cover the air time.
Okay.
Oh.
I'll sit.
Let's.
So, while we wait for Drew to come back, I just want to ask you,
Get
Nick,
back up here.
do you find yourself trying to downsize your iCloud plan, or are you're married to these 4 terabytes?
At this point, I'm unfortunately married to these 4 terabytes, and it really sucks because I create like right now I create about 200 gigabytes a day of footage, and with a few flips of a switch, I could be creating about a terabyte a day of footage easily. Just a few flips of a switch, and it's all up.
Have you thought of a raid?
Have I thought of a raid? I have been thinking about a raid. I have a raid. It's a 10 terabyte raid, which I could fill up in less than 2 weeks, which sucks. And then what do I do with that? So I've been looking at like 190 terabyte RAID array, but those are pretty pricey, and that would only last me 6 months. So,
Wow.
yeah.
How much of this footage is actually needing to be like preserved or stored versus
All of it needs to be preserved for historic purposes. You never know what's going to be useful in the future. Those little birds that are just chilling on the telephone wire for 30 minutes, you never know when that's going to be useful.
Oh no! Oh no, Nick! No.
I think he's got the hoarding.
No, don't say the H word. I'm not hoarding.
Because I guarantee 99% of this footage will never be looked at again.
But it's that 1% that will make it so worth it to have it all there.
No.
Oh no.
Oh, Nick.
Oh yes.
No.
Oh yes.
No.
Oh yes.
What's funny was I was talking to you guys over cellular and it was lagging out, so I switched to the Wi-Fi and now it seems to have fixed it. So
Thank you,
I'm just cursed, I think.
anti-Starlinking.
I'm now on Starlink, and it's working better than the cellular connection. So, I have no answers.
Thanks,
I don't know.
Reynolds.
Wow.
We give you compliments, and this is
Oh,
how you
Ryan.
treat our plans or his plan. Anyway,
Is there any other services in Apple One you use
Heck no.
somewhat
Heck no.
regularly? No
Apple
TV
Music?
Plus
I think
either?
I watched the last TV Plus show. The last TV Plus thing I watched was Ted Lasso. Was that it? I watched that, but that was like freaking October or something.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. Anyway, that was
No Apple Music?
not really. I mean, I have switched back to Apple Music, but it was all music that I already owned. I don't regularly use the YouTube Music app anymore, but it was all music that I kind of already owned anyway. So I don't know. It's there.
I switched to
guess.
Apple Music
you
briefly
did?
because they offered Shazam was offering like 2 months free or something, and I was like, maybe now since I've had Spotify Premium for like a year would be a good time to do a comparison video. So I got Apple Music again and started using it a little bit alongside Spotify, and I was like, I remember this, and it's good. It's still better than Spotify in my opinion. There's some things Spotify does better, but I can get it free through my brother-in-law, so I'm just gonna keep doing that. I will not. I will not pay for music straight. And if the Spotify Premium thing went away, if my brother-in-law was like, "Sorry, we're not gonna offer you that anymore," I would go back to YouTube Music. It's just the UI is not a big enough selling point to me because end of the day, I open an app and I tap a song and it starts playing, which
And that's all you need.
the
out of a
UI
music streaming app.
right, like paying $10 a month just so that the UI is a little bit cleaner.
And
But
to be honest,
the app does the same thing.
Tell me I'm not wrong about this. I don't like Apple Music's UI. Like I legitimately do not like
Oh,
it.
you're wrong about that. I love it.
No.
I think it looks way better than Spotify.
I'm not talking about
or YouTube
visually,
Music.
just the way it functions, the way you navigate the app. Like
Have you used Spotify?
I've not ever used Spotify, but I have used YouTube
You'd probably
Music.
like Apple Music more.
Okay.
I haven't used YouTube Music in over a year now. What does YouTube Music do better?
You
'Cause
have
usually
you
I
have
hear
a
the
library
opposite.
tab, and it's like there's two tabs. There's like the what is that?
Does Apple Music not?
Well, it has a what do they call it?
it's in
I
a,
thought
it's,
it
in,
did.
it's in a grid. It's in a list portion.
Yeah, so
It's not
YouTube
can
Music
uncheck
has
those
Home,
lists.
Explore, and Library. And you click on Library, and your playlists are right at the top. Your downloads, playlists. It's like, anyway, it's laid out better in my opinion.
I just
on YouTube Music.
uncheck all those. I get rid of all of them.
What do you
But
do? Like in the music app?
you can like hit edit in the music app
Yeah.
and just get rid of all the different
Yeah,
columns
but-
so that
but I
it's
don't- I don't
basically
wanna
just recently
I
added.
don't want to see recently added playlists or albums. These are actually albums. I don't want to see recently added albums. I'd much rather see recently played playlists there. And that's what YouTube Music does. It's the most recent playlist.
Oh, interesting.
Like New Dawn by Randy Vasquez.
Because I don't use. Wow, that's a good album. I don't use the playlist feature much.
That's all I do.
Spotify is all about playlists, and I'm more about like individual songs or albums
So are you like
specifically.
thinking of a
not
song
like
or an album and you go find it? Or
it's just in my. I basically made one playlist on Spotify that is basically my library. So every time I
Okay.
open it, it's just the music I'm interested in. But
so you just scroll around for it?
usually, or I'll just play. I'll know that something on that playlist is something I will like, so I'll just shuffle it. But I just preferred Apple Music's add to library function because when you're looking up a song or you want to add an album or something,
is
you can
nice.
just hit the plus.
Yep.
Spotify doesn't do that. It's like, which playlist do you want to add this to? And it's like, okay, now I got to go through this hoop and get that. But I haven't used YouTube Music in a while. But either way, I'm not putting UI preferences behind a paywall. Some people do, but
And honestly, if
like
there was a cheaper option to get 4 terabytes of iCloud storage that involved losing everything else, I would do it.
Does it have to be iCloud? Is there a reason?
Yeah, it's my iCloud photo
Only
library.
iCloud works?
And I know plenty of people who just create a different library on your computer and then save that to a hard drive B. It's like, well, first off, I don't want to download 65,765 photos
that's
and
what Nick thinks of you people.
3,105 videos.
Anyone who comments on this podcast has to have the lip thing.
Nick, that's not what I sound like.
Oh, that's what you sound like, actually. I talked to your mom.
That's disrespectful.
I talked to your mom, and
Yes,
then she
it is.
said that's what you sound like. She also said she thinks you look ugly.
Doing AirPod musical chairs now.
Hey.
I love that game.
These
Yeah,
new
so I don't know.
babies just...
It does need to be iCloud for me. It's not the files anymore. It's really just my photo library. Like my photo library here. Let me check the settings here. My iCloud. Oh gosh, my iCloud photo library is 1.54 terabytes. That's just my personal iCloud photo library.
Wow.
And then messages takes up 74 gigs, documents 200 gigs, which I could probably nuke those documents if I actually needed to. And my family uses 600 gigs. So, yeah.
I would feel more comfortable spending 10 or 15 or even $20 a month for iCloud if it was unlimited something.
Seriously.
It doesn't have to be unlimited videos, but if it was at least unlimited pictures, I would know, okay, like for life, I can keep all of my pictures in one place. But the reason I downgraded was because I knew I'm going to hit 2 terabytes and I'm going to have to start deleting things anyway. So as long as there's a data cap, I'm not interested in.
It's a really good point because the way my work works, we have an unlimited Google Drive account, which is not even advertised. Don't ask me how you find it. I don't know. We just have it. And it's literally unlimited Google Drive storage. And I upload terabytes and terabytes and terabytes and terabytes to that drive.
I did not know that was a thing.
It isn't.
That's
Might be a
interesting.
business account thing.
It is a business account.
Probably costs a lot.
Probably costs a lot. I don't know anything about it except for the fact that you can only each user can only upload 750 gigs a day. That's the only limit on this account, which is why I have 2 accounts.
So little.
Just 750.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
How sad.
But it's like that.
What is
that
this, 2032? God.
But like that's where most of my footage goes, up to the Google Drive. It doesn't actually get into my iCloud photos. My iCloud photos are really just like the best pictures that I've taken from the day. Like basically anything I've tweeted, iPhone pictures, quick iPhone videos. Like that's all that's here. But it's ballooned, and it's to the point where I physically cannot downsize. Like I wouldn't want to. Like even if I had unlimited time and I had unlimited focus to go back through my 65,000 pictures and delete half of them, it's like, okay, I took my iCloud storage from, or my iCloud photo library from 1.5 terabytes to 750 gigs. I'm still paying for 2 terabytes. Like, that does nothing, and I've deleted pictures, which I hate deleting pictures. So, I don't know. Apple basically
Social media
has
is
me
the
screwed.
closest thing to free picture hosting. So
No, it needs to be Apple. Like I know Google Drive and Google Photos and all that. I've done the research. I've done all
Instagram.
that. No. I want full resolution, something that I own, that is encrypted, and that just works.
Have you heard of NFTs?
Just make all of my iCloud photo library.
make
NFT.
every one of
You
your
want to
pictures
own
an
the
NFT.
Every one of
photos
the
you
pictures
take,
in
Nick?
NFT.
You fool. Putting them on Twitter alone won't work. You need a link.
So this is what NFTs are, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey,
Everyone can look at my
so-
pictures.
That's how it works.
Everyone can look at my pictures. But when you look at my picture, it's special.
It's my picture you're looking at. I purposely have always stayed on the 200 gig plan as a forced life
And
exercise.
dude, that saved you. Like if I would have done that, then I wouldn't be in this position. This
Because
is like
honestly,
my
here's the thing.
600-pound life, but with like
every
iCloud storage.
couple months.
Yeah.
I won't do
You
it.
said no to the
unless-
cheeseburger. Now I can't.
I wish I could quit you. Every couple
You're
months,
gonna die.
I go into a purging state that every photographer that I know and every videographer that I know does this. You don't just take one photo.
Except
You
for
end up
me.
taking like a series. And the laziness is what filled up my storage because I wouldn't go back and pick the right one out of all of those and then get rid of the rest. So I ended up doing over winter break this past time. I always do it when I have downtime. I sit down and I don't overwhelm myself by doing the whole photo album. I'll do it like, okay, I'm going to try to knock out 2016 and then I will go through the whole year of 2016. Oh, I have all these memes I saved that are irrelevant because Trump isn't running for president. Oh, wait, he might run for president. I wish I didn't delete those.
Don't say that. We just
They
got
will be relevant
demonetized.
again. Yeah, I know.
This
So,
was the monetized channel.
It was, and then I said...
They're memes.
The memes.
They're
So, all the memes of Hillary Clinton, I was like, all right, well, she's not run. Oh, wait, she might run. Okay, maybe I shouldn't delete those. So,
Bingo!
bingo. Hey, did you guys know that William Shatner is 90 years old and completely coherent? Like...
That's great. Go on about your point about photography.
Okay, anyway. William Shatner is like... He was a teenager in World War II.
Yeah, so were you.
But the difference is I found a way. I've infinite loop hack.
You
Anyway,
found the fountain of youth.
I'm drinking too much of that fountain. Ooh. But I block out a period, like a year. I try to do it in increments of a year, and I would just scrub any duplicate photos that I would take. That means raw photo and then the one that went to Instagram. If I did any filters, I'll probably keep the filtered one. But I try to just downsize my duplicates. And a megabyte here, kilobytes there, it doesn't really add up. But when I was doing it by the years, I noticed like, oh, I'm actually saving like time. And then I pull all videos off of iCloud completely. And I use I'll keep some like reoccurring quick memes or something like that, like Jameson going, "What, are you serious?"
Yeah.
You know, I'll keep that because it's just gold. But most videos,
It's basically part of your keyboard now.
exactly. So
Dude, can we do
everything
that?
else goes.
Like, instead of emojis, just like have a meme.
That'd be amazing.
The next
So, I'm now.
Okay,
That's where I'm at 150. I'm close. I'm pushing 150 right now, but I haven't gone through my vacation purge, and I plan on doing that soon. And if I put artificial stress on myself about the iCloud storage, I try to keep that buffer of like 50 gigs still. Then all of a sudden, $3 a month doesn't really make me fear, because if the jump wasn't so aggressive from $3 to $10 a month, I would probably have
that's a big
approached it
jump.
different. But that's a big jump, and it adds up. I'm not paying that for music. Like you, Drew, I'm on someone's plan, and if I'm
Yeah.
not on a plan, I get some type of promo or some type of rebate for Spotify. I am paying for YouTube Music by proxy of YouTube Premium, so that's the only reason why I would also go back to that. But outside of that, I'm not trying to pay $10. I hate subscription service of things, but that's me. That's why I like buying
too.
Final Cut and Logic, because I want to own it outright. I hate subscriptions because I can't. There's no way around it. But I know
There's just too many of them, and I
Yes.
think we need to lean in the opposite way as much as possible. I'm guilty of this because we subscribed to Hulu recently, only because they were offering a pretty cheap promo for like 12 months, and we were like, okay, we'll take advantage of the promo for 1 year because it has this show we want to watch on it. But the promo is like 99 cents a month, so I was like, okay, it was like 1 year at 99 cents a month. Okay, I can swing that maybe. But yeah, Netflix just rose their prices again. It's insane. Like, Netflix is valuable. Like, anybody, go to someone's house who has Netflix, I'm kind of like, ooh. Like, quick,
How
much did they raise it to?
check. I think, let me double check, but I think like the HD plan is like close to 20 a month now or something.
What? The basic plan
It's
is
like-
20?
HD.
The HD plan, the basic plan is 480p.
What? 480p?
Yeah, they keep the
Okay, I
they
literally
keep all
have
the
not
streaming.
subscribed to Netflix since 2018, I think.
Oh, the
And that was
the
$7.99.
4K plan is $20 a month.
Yep.
And the HD plan, which gives you 2 screens simultaneously, so one TV, one tablet, $15.49 a month.
Golly.
Yep.
And then the
Your
basic
basic.
plan that only allows one screen, one device can have downloads, and it's all limited to 480p, $10 a month.
Yep.
So Netflix is crazy. It's like insanely expensive. Now, someone logged into their Netflix on our TV and we're abusing that, but it's, I got to admit, as expensive as it is, it's entirely subjective, and this is incredibly personal opinion. I still find Netflix has the best catalog of content opposed to any other service. I've fallen out of the Disney train ever since I don't know, they diversified. Post Endgame, post Mandalorian, I have a hard time getting interested in Disney stuff as much. So everything on Disney, I'm like, eh. But
Oh, you're sleeping on some
maybe
good
it's
Jeff
just-
Goldblum content.
I watched the first episode of that and I was like, okay, I get it. But yeah, it's gonna change depending on who you are, what kind
Yeah.
of life you're in, and like who you surround yourself with. I think also impacts the enjoyability of content. Like if you're watching it with your friend versus if you're watching it with your wife versus with your family versus with your nieces, and you know, there's all these different scenarios of which. And for my walk of life of just watching a lot of content with my wife, there's not much that interests her on Disney Plus, and I've kind of followed through with that because I get most of the reviews about all the new Star Wars or Marvel stuff from online, and it doesn't sound like I'm missing out on much anyway. And when I go on Netflix, we always find like 5 or 6 movies or shows that we're interested in because it caters to a more
Mature.
probably young adult/adult audience that I find more enjoyable. So yeah, it's expensive as it is, like, because there were headlines that were like Netflix HD plan is like over 3 times the price of Apple TV Plus, and I was like, yeah, and it has 10 times the content. It was like there's a bunch more stuff to choose from. You could
I'm
watch
back
probably
on-
all of TV Plus in a month.
Yeah, I'm back on Apple TV Plus because T-Mobile gave me a year free.
That's how they get you.
That's how they get me.
Yep.
But
That's how
I
they
set a
get you.
calendar reminder the day before my billing cycle to cancel. So, you know.
Smart. Very smart.
I do that too.
Yeah.
So many events in my calendar. Cancel this, cancel
Absolutely.
this. We had Paramount Plus free for a month, and I had the event all scheduled and everything. Just caught up on Survivor, and then canceled. They're like, thanks.
I'm gonna wait for
All
that
good.
trashy Halo series, and then I'll cancel it after I see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
It just
subscribe
looked
and
so bad.
It does. It looks so bad. It looks so bad.
Oh my god. Yeah, there's too many subscription services, but like the difference between 2 terabytes of iCloud versus 200, $7
Yeah.
throughout a year. That's like $74 a year, I think. That's quite a bit, and then the jump from 200 to 50 gigs is $24 a year saved.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is like, it's gonna, it's not as tremendous, and the amount of work you have to get your iCloud under 50 gigs,
Yeah.
it's like, it's a challenge.
And just keeping
that's
it
a,
under 50
that's a
gigs.
trick.
Yeah.
I delete most of my videos. That's why I like to do vlogs and stuff. Is like once I've pushed this content onto
Yeah,
YouTube, now I don't need it on multiple servers. As long as it's on
Right.
someone's server, I can delete it here. So I did all my travel vlogs and then deleted all the footage off it because it took up a lot of space on my phone. Doing all my tech and EV videos all off the iPhone.
Oh yeah.
And
Totally.
That was fun. I miss Puerto Rico. it was a good place to work from, and their Wi-Fi was not as spotty as Starlink.
And that was an amazing green screen you had going on.
It was.
Oh, I know.
I'm very convincing.
Everyone believed me. Yeah, it was
Fools.
impressive. But
So-
I've got to admit I'm pretty disappointed with Starlink. Unfortunately,
Really?
it has.
How so?
Yeah, it has gotten much worse since getting back from Puerto Rico.
Oh no.
It's just like all download has been prioritized. So I still get,
We lost.
you know,
No, he's back.
oh wow. because I put another AirPod in. It's like, let me disconnect you from the iPhone that you're currently having a FaceTime call in. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
5 by 5.
So I just did a speed test this morning, and the download is 250, sometimes less than that, but pretty consistently over 100. That was after I reset the whole system because the speeds were so slow. I was feeling like I must have done something wrong or something was wrong with the service because I got home and I was doing speed tests and I couldn't get over 50 down.
Wow.
And I was like, that seems low.
Good.
That doesn't seem normal because it normally never did that. So I looked up, did some research on what other Starlink users were experiencing, and Starlink was like, we notice slower speeds when people use their own third-party hardware. So I was like, okay. The only reason I was using my old router was because it had better range, and I was trying to get a stable connection to my wife working in the other room. She doesn't work for that company anymore. So I was like, well, I don't think having a super stable connection in the bedroom is that important anymore. Let's just go back to the regular router. And I don't do anything over Ethernet, so there's no Ethernet port occupied. It's all Wi-Fi, and it's just the onboard included router. You know, stowed it, reset the system, and put everything back together. And then I started getting really good download, but it's just the upload that will not stabilize. Before we went to Puerto Rico last year, I was averaging probably around 20, sometimes 30 megabits per second up, and then you'd get lots of volatility. So it would spike up to 50 on occasion. Sometimes it would be down to 10. Now it's struggling to break 10.
Really?
Which is not great at all.
No.
And that's what's actually convinced me to opt for the unlimited plan with Mint, because I realized that I could do a lot of my live streaming directly off the phone. And even if Starlink was stable, I was considering doing that because I can now live stream as videos are uploading, which I couldn't even do with Comcast. Even with expensive Xfinity, the upload wasn't good enough that I could like go live and upload a video simultaneously. That's pretty useful for me because that typically overlaps. Like, I finish a video, now I want to do a live stream, but I got to wait for the upload to finish. So I was like, okay, I've got some Mint referral credit. I'll use it towards unlimited data. And the disappointing thing now is that I seem to keep running into issues with the cell plan, occasionally dropping out like I did on the call, or I've done 2 live streams now. We're kind of like in the middle of it. It crashes and returns. It's Starlink's, even though it's not Starlink, you know. It has a little stroke. So I'm like, I was hoping, because we're coming up on the 1-year point, I was hoping that within a year of ownership, this would not be a thing. But I'm still doing my editing streams for channel members on Starlink. And that's kind of my way to ballpark, test how the frames are doing. And no matter how low I put the bit rate or how much of a stream delay that there is, there's always just these dropouts, and it gets down to like 10% frame drops, 15% frame drops, which is really bad.
That's terrible.
When I first got the service, it was like 3%. And then it got better. Near the end of 2021, it was like less than 1% of frame drops, and it was like really stable. And I was like, oh, okay, I see a clear path to success. This is improving. That's great. And then once we got back, it just never recovered. And
I didn't like that you left.
I don't know.
No, it doesn't.
It must have not liked that.
No, it doesn't care that you left. It wants you to subscribe to Starlink Premium.
That must be the only solution. What was funny was the upload didn't, at least on the screenshot they showed of Starlink Premium, the upload speed looked the same. It was like, didn't make a big difference.
Starlink Premium is only worth it if it's equal up, equal down internet. Like
bilateral speeds.
Bilateral, thank you. That's the fun
Which
word.
it doesn't appear to be.
No.
At least that's not how they're advertising it.
It's not.
I don't even know how that works, because they said like now you can get up to 500 megabits per second, but we've seen people with the regular Starlink get 300,
it appears
400.
that new Starlink Premium box is significantly larger, the dish.
Yeah.
And so my guess is there's probably the equivalent of 2 antennas packed in there. And so they're getting twice, basically, twice the bandwidth.
But how come I'm seeing speed tests still of people on the regular Starlink dish get 300, 400 down? V1,
Okay.
like with the circle.
Yeah.
I've seen those speed tests posted, and I'm like,
location.
it's all
Totally
location because I'm looking up other people doing Starlink speed tests, and they're getting better than I am. So it's frustrating because I really like. My last resort is going back to Comcast because I really hate them and I don't want to go back.
No.
And
I have an
support
alternative for you.
SpaceX because what's that?
I know it sounded like I was about to make a joke, but it's something I've been looking
Oh,
into.
T-Mobile?
T-Mobile has their fiber system that looks like it's coming online. The regular one is $50 a month, and much like their regular plans,
It's not fiber, right? It's home.
No,
it's
no,
called
the regular
home
the
internet.
regular is not fiber. But looking at their speeds, fiber right now is only in New York City, but that's because it's a good test place to run their betas.
Yeah, because fiber's a cable. Fiber's a physical thing.
Yes.
T-Mobile's
But
doing
that mean,
over
but
the air.
that shows that they are working on it, and
Wait,
for
which
now
T-Mobile
it makes
one?
sense
Yeah.
to put in a highly populated area like
So-
New York City.
For those who don't know, I have looked into this. T-Mobile is doing a thing called home internet, 5G,
I also looked at
where
this.
basically, yeah, they sell you this modem / router, everything combined, and it's basically doing what your phone does, except it's, I guess, more dedicated hardware for it. Instead of trying to hotspot everything, I think it's unlimited data, if I remember correctly.
I think you're
and-
right.
So,
I'll
so
pull it
I
up. I
read the
think you're
fine
right.
print. It is unlimited data. However, they reserve the right to stop your service
it.
if you're using significant amounts of data. And
Right.
I was looking
And
at
I believe you're
bonding.
deprioritized.
No, just straight up disconnecting your service if you use significant. Like it's in
Well,
the
that-
T's and C's.
But also, even cutting off your data, I read that it's deprioritized. So like if there's something busy going on, the phones will take priority over your home internet, which I wasn't super into. But
I mean, for the
What were you
price,
gonna say
can't
about
beat
the
it
fine
because,
print?
I mean, I know how much LTE data is, just straight
Yeah.
hotspot data. That is some of the most expensive stuff you can buy. And it is good and it's solid, but any way to not spend lots of money on that is a good thing. I was actually
I think the
looking at
T-Mobile
taking
thing is 50 a month.
$50
Yeah,
a
it's
month.
50 a month,
it's super cheap.
and their fiber. But the thing is, the fiber is 60 a month right now.
I don't think it's fiber.
It's not fiber.
I think you're using that term incorrectly.
That's what they said. No,
It's
go
like-
to T-MobileFiber.com. I think is what they call it. They're using fiber.
Okay. T-Mobile was like, because that's them getting into actual
Yeah, that's actual physical cables.
landline, physical cable. It's not like a 5G. I think we're talking about the 5G home internet thing.
Yes. No. So the 5G home internet is available now, and they are
Yeah.
working on fiber currently.
Mm-hmm.
I've been tracking this stuff just because I use them. I own their stock, so like I monitor what their roadmap is with that stuff. And right now they are testing the fiber optics that they have going on just in New York City. But it is their intent to roll that stuff out. But for $10 more, or actually, where I was even going out with the whole thing is that because you don't want to go back to Comcast, the $50 a month alone would be something I would deem.
It is a good deal.
If
My
you're-
only concern is I do speed tests because I'm on Mint Mobile, which is using T-Mobile, and I know how fast the 5G is here, and it's, well, at least I thought it was more stable than Starlink because I've done live streams off of my hotspot before, and I've done live streams straight off the phone and not had any issues. And it's stable, but it's definitely not as fast as Starlink was.
There's an article. I don't know. I'm sorry, not an article. There's somebody who I follow in this sector of tech, and it has to do with mobile services and stuff like that. And he tests all of them. And Stenson, shout out if you're checking this out. He's an advocate of Mint Mobile, and that's where his personal sim is in. But from all he does like the nitty in-depth stuff like that. Mint Mobile is deprioritized in comparison to T-Mobile. So
It is, but it rarely results in a speed difference. Remember, we did the speed test.
I do.
when we met
I
up.
remember us testing where we were at. But all that to say that, like you said, now the home internet is dedicated hardware for this particular. I would.
That's also deprioritized. So I would say
I don't wait.
Mint Mobile's probably
the home internet would
the
be?
home internet thing is well. At least the review I watched. I watched a review of a guy checking out the home internet thing, and he said that you are deprioritized from the normal T-Mobile smartphone users. So I would say
at all.
Mint Mobile's performance is probably more accurate to the home internet service than a straight T-Mobile connection.
New stance. Looking at T-Mobile on website, their upload speeds is typically between 10 and 34 megabytes. Okay? If that's what you're getting anyway with Starlink...
That's the problem, though. Starlink is always changing. It's like a couple months ago, it was much better than that, and now it's gotten much worse. They're adding more satellites. If
they prioritize download over upload speeds, but what matters is upload speeds... If that's what you're getting locked in at, all I'm saying is that you can save the money getting the same upload speeds with T-Mobile.
Well, I think I can say before I do anything, I would definitely try the home internet before I try Comcast, because that's obviously who I don't want to reward.
Get rid of that.
No. They're crazy expensive, and they were driving the rates higher and higher. So I'm like, let's try to avoid that if at all possible, but it sucks that there's just not a fast, reliable, affordable tier. It's like that checkbox thing, As soon as you check another thing, you lose something. And I totally side with I believe what Nick said about they can shut off the internet for too much data consumption. I have a feeling maybe they're doing that with my phone, because I did all these stream tests where for several weeks I was like, I'm just going to stream off of my phone because it has unlimited data. So I did that, and it worked fine. Now, the last couple of streams I've done on my phone, it works fine. And then in the middle, it'll crash and then come back. And I'm like, people think I'm Starlinking, and I'm not even using Starlink. So I have a feeling, could be wrong, but I have a feeling the T-Mobile home internet thing would do the same thing. It would be like, yeah, you're really fast, this is really stable, and then it crashes. And unfortunately, I just have very weird requirements from my internet because I'm a content creator, and all these internet services, Starlink, T-Mobile, and Mint Mobile, are all optimized for this general consumer. Let's prioritize down. Let's make sure they can watch Netflix and stream YouTube. And I'm here like, I need to be throwing stuff up to the servers constantly, and I don't care about download.
Somehow.
Right.
What are you
so I
using,
gotta
Nick?
post all this stuff.
For home internet?
Yeah, what is your upload stuff? What are you using?
So I use, I think it's Charter Spectrum. They service my my home here, and they just run a coax cable in. I am currently using their biggest, most expensive plan that they have, which is advertised 400 megabits a second download, and they do not advertise an upload. I have seen typically about 30-ish megabits up. However, during sustained uploads, I only get about 20 megabits up. 20 to 25, I guess. And so that allows me to upload
it's not that different from here.
Yeah, it allows me to upload about 200 gigabytes a day, which sounds like a lot, but with one flip of a switch, I could create like a terabyte a day of content. And the only bottleneck at the moment, the only bottleneck is the upload speed. And so because of that, I've been looking at network bonding, like getting a second wired internet connection, and then also like a Starlink. Or
it's like having 2 straws in your Slurpee, basically.
It's 2 straws in your Slurpee. But I'm going to have 2 straws in my Slurpee, plus like a curly Q Starlink straw that like goes all the way up to space and back. And then
so you still have a Starlink on order?
I do have a Starlink on order, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, so.
Would you get a premium?
I would not get a premium just for the cost.
It's only $500 a month, Nick.
Whoa.
Did you not know this, Randy?
Yeah, no. $500 a month.
It's literally
box itself is
5 times.
Yeah.
It's $2,500 up front, and then $500 a month afterward. It's for businesses, to be fair. It's not pitched towards consumers.
I was about to say, that is not residential pricing right there. That's some enterprise
not at all.
stuff.
I was getting mad because too many people online were like, that's not good. I can get such and such. I'm like, you're missing the whole point.
Goodness.
I think what I said in my video was they shouldn't have called it premium because that sounds like a consumer grade thing. It sounds like YouTube Premium. And if they would have made it Starlink Enterprise, it would have sounded more like a business aspect of like we pitched this towards offices plus a perfect Star Trek reference at the same time. So
I mean, Starlink Enterprise. Or just even Starlink like Black or Premium or like I don't know, anything else.
Yeah. Premium sounds too like it's meant for everyday people, which it's not. But anyway, closing thoughts, gents.
It's good to be back.
Series 5.2 is just amazing.
Good to see you all. Can't wait for 5.3 next year. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Peace!